Hey folks, welcome back to Clipsy's Bricks, and this is part 2 of the cafe corner part out and build. I wanted to start by discussing a comment that I received on the first floor. Matt from over at Brooks Bricks had a comment about the 5 high doors that you can see on this build, there and here. So interestingly enough, although the door frames, which is, the 1x4x6 frames we're all used to, were available in 2007 when this model came out. Actually, they even used it here for this side door. The door insert frame was not available until 2008. So, although you can build the model now with the frames and you just replace them out, and you gotta do some modification and use the new doors if you want, since these 5 high doors are fairly expensive. And along those lines, this is actually the only modular that uses the 5 high doors, because when the Green Grocer comes out a year later, they have switched over to the 6 high doors. Now, unfortunately, when I was building the second and third floors, I got a little overzealous and just plowed through them and didn't actually film any of that. So we're just going to take a look at the built floors, and I'll point out some of the changes I made, or changes you could make if you were wanting to part this out now. So the second floor is all pretty standard parts. Nothing really crazy, except the original model has these wall panels, which they use 2 of these back to back to create that 2 stud wall depth that the model needs, so that you can get the nice red on the inside. Now, you can get these off of Bricks and Pieces on lego.com, or you can also modernize it and use 2 back-to-back 2x3x1 window frames, and it gives you the same effect. And that's what I did on this side. That's what I did on this side of the building, and then you can insert the glass. But on the front and the other side, I used the original parts, I guess. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you like the glass version or the original version better. Thanks. Now, the last thing on the second floor that you can change up, this arch here is the original style, which is continuously curved, versus the newer style. You can see it has that little notch first that goes up before it curves. I think you could use either one. I went with the original, but I think the only difference is you'd end up with get my big fingers out of the way. You'd end up with a little bit higher arch above those windows, which may not cover these 2 as well. But I think it's easy to go either way, whatever your budget allows. Because this arch was actually a little bit on the pricier end, and I believe I actually ended up getting a used piece here, because I couldn't find a new one at a reasonable price. So that's the second floor. I'm gonna pop it on here. Oops. All right, I'm back. Blooper reel. So there's the second floor on top of the first, and then again there's the modern glass windows versus the open side. And let me know what you think. Now on to the third floor. As you can see with the rest of both the second floor and the ground floor, there are no interior details, which means it's open for you to mock out however you'd like to decorate the interior. Similar to the second floor and the rest of the building as a whole, this third floor doesn't have any real unique special parts, except for these 4x4 windows. This is the biggest change that I've made. You can see I've used the modern shutters, and I'll show you why in a moment. But everything else is pretty standard and easy to find. Also, like the ground floor, this is maybe the one place that you might want to consider splurging if you want to get the light blue gray turntable bases, because they are fairly apparent, although I think you could probably modify them out to black or white here as well. I think it would look just as well, because again, as I pointed out in the last video, these turntable bases are really pricey. Again, not too much going on there. I'm gonna put that aside. So these top windows uses a 4x4 by 2 stud deep window frame. Kind of looks like that. This here is an option though. You can use 2 of these back to back, give you the depth. I was able to find the actual part on Bricks and Pieces and Lego on Lego.com, so I ordered them. I think the main benefit is having that 2 depth. It does give some stability to the walls. Also on the second floor, it does the same thing if you use the panel pieces instead of the window frames, because that way you have the 2 studs are bridging the two walls, the exterior and interior walls, to give it to beef up that rigidity. Now, the original windows for this on this 5th floor, the 5 windows on this 3rd floor, the original part are very expensive, and there's no reason not to use the new ones. However, if you do that, you do need to use the newer window frame shutter part, because this is what the original part looks like. But you'll see it does not fit in the new frames. The original frame that this insert goes to, it had a thicker front that allowed that to sit inside of it. So don't waste your time looking for these frames unless, or these window shutters, unless you're going to get the original frames. But then to be prepared to spend a bunch of money, and I don't think it's really necessary, because I think the look with the modern windows is just as good, and it looks just the same as the original for pennies compared to tens of dollars. So lastly, roof. It's pretty simple. I have to say, the chimneys, although they look okay, they're super fragile. They fall apart really easy if you knock them. I think it's probably one of the weaker part of the overall build. Up there. And then, so let's put this all together. Hopefully I don't knock anything off on this time. Oh, I'm gonna knock those chimneys and the sign. So there you go. Squeeze it back there, and we'll just tilt that up so you can see. Whoop! There's the cat. Some final thoughts on the part out process for the Cafe Corner modular in 2022. It is arguably, one of the most iconic buildings in the modular series. I think it's a great addition to anybody's city, and you don't have to go out and pay those crazy high prices for a used copy of it, or even crazier prices for a new copy, when you can very easily acquire the parts mostly through Bricks and Pieces online and through additional parts off of Bricklink, and keep the cost relatively low. All told, I probably spent in the $300 range, maybe a little bit more, because I did splurge on some of those unique pieces. But all in all, it wasn't terrible, and I think it was more in line with buying a new modular compared to paying the retired price for a set. That said, the building doesn't have any interior details, so it's going to cost you more if you want to add those. But all in all, it's a great build. It was fun. Highly recommend it. I think it fits into anybody's Lego City. Thanks for watching, and if you like this content, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I've got more projects on the way. Take care.